Purpose of the public forum is to give the residents of Manchester the opportunity to address the board. All people wishing to speak will have up to 3 minutes to do so, and any comments must be directed to the chair. Any resident wishing to speak will come forward to the nearest microphone, clearly state their name and address when recognized, and give their comments. Whom do we have?
Good evening. My name is Patricia Hurley. I'm a resident of Ward 1, 606 Ray Street in Manchester, and a longtime teacher in Ward 12. I come here tonight with goodwill and with appreciation for the hard work that the board members and administrators do on behalf of the students of Manchester every day. At the same time, I come to deliver a message that may be hard to hear. My message is that we are in a special education and leadership crisis in Manchester. At the start of the current school year, we were already at or near cap in our self-contained classrooms. As recently as last month, there was an involuntary transfer of a special education teacher from a resource/inclusion role to a role opening a new self-contained classroom. I won't pretend to know all the factors that went into that decision, yet I do know that at least one initial factor was incorrect. Thank you. Was incorrect based on information I received in writing from my union president, which stated that there was a teacher at our school that didn't see students and could have just absorbed the transfer's caseload. That was wholly untrue, and our building level administrators communicated that to the district level staff. The transfer proceeded with little further communication. So little, in fact, that the staff member resigned because she did not feel she had sufficient information to provide an appropriate education to the students she was being asked to serve. Special education teachers in Manchester are asked to do a lot: teach, evaluate, case manage, and at most schools, be secretaries for our own caseloads. In some districts, these are separate roles. Case manager and special education teacher are separated, or special education teacher is supported by administrative assistants, or there's a building level special education coordinator that helps manage the timelines and the evaluations. I say this not as a complaint, but as education to everybody who's listening, both in this chamber and at home. To be a special education teacher in Manchester, you're able to do many things, and you have to be an optimist. With permission, I'm sharing that my friend and colleague, whom I mentored as an intern and who worked side by side with me for these past few years, said in the day she resigned, "Everybody is talking about me, but nobody is talking to me. If somebody had just talked to me, I know they could have convinced me to stay." And she didn't mean our building leadership. They sought out answers, but with the crisis we are in, there were no answers to be had. Everyone is putting out fires, and I am sure working very hard, but there is little time for proactive planning. She resigned on a Monday when she was expected to report to her new assignment on a Thursday. We have to do better. My school has lost an extremely conscientious and capable special educator. Our group sizes have gone up because we are all, in fact, already teaching. This change puts our students at increased risk of not making appropriate progress. I'm not being an alarmist. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I work with people of incredibly high integrity who are extremely capable and are giving it everything they've got. Thank you.
Deborah Todd.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Deborah Todd, and I've been a teacher in Manchester for 28 years. Firstly, I'd like to thank my colleague and friend for her thoughtful words. What she shared really resonates with me, and I'd like to build on that perspective. I'm here not only as a special educator, but also as someone who shares a deep commitment to the well-being and success of our students and our schools. To again stress communication, a little over a week ago, a new student transferred to our school. We discovered wholly by accident that our special education digital platform, Nessus, has the ability to translate documents into multiple languages. The student had documents in her electronic file that were in her cultural language and in English. To be honest, we were both thrilled and exasperated. Why did we discover this by accident? Why was this not clearly communicated to staff? We reached out to the prior school to see how they found out, and it was by accident. We shared with colleagues at a third school, and their team learned of it from yet a fourth school. Does the ML team know of this? Had we not discovered this, we would be following the existing protocol of sending an English version off to be translated and waiting for it to come back, rather than having documents available instantly for parents. As we enter into a time of restructuring, I think of how many special education directors we've had in just the past 10 years. This is a systemic leadership issue. It is not just one person as the fall guy or the scapegoat. Moving forward, we ask that you be mindful in supporting the new assistant superintendent that oversees student services and special education. We ask you to hold each other accountable at every level for clear communication and transparent out-of-the-box planning. Bring people to the table. This isn't just about adults feeling unsupported, it's about students. When decisions are made without involving those of us that are in the schools every day, it's our students who ultimately suffer. We risk failing the very children we are here to serve because we're being asked to do the impossible without a roadmap, with inadequate resources, and without a voice in the process. We're not asking for perfection, we're asking for a partnership. Talk to us, ask us what we need, and how we can find solutions together. We trust our building leaders to represent the needs of our schools and the students we serve. With severe budget cuts as a possibility, it is more important than ever to be interdependent. Top-down leadership with limited communication simply will not work. Thank you so much for your time.
Anthony Poor.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good evening. My name is Anthony Poor, and I reside at 160 Walnut Hill Avenue in Manchester's North End. I'm also the father of 2 Manchester Central High School graduates and a longtime supporter of the Manchester School District and those who call the Queen City its home. I do want to congratulate Jason Bonilla and Superintendent Camille. I had the opportunity to participate in today's 3rd annual Lift Every Voice Summit. And man, what a wonderful experience. So thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to support. But today I stand here in support of the school's budget, but I rise in opposition to Mayor Way's proposed budget and the $9 million cut to the school budget as it's proposed. It's no mystery to all of us here this evening that our schools and our students' outcomes have been less than what we hoped for, and the need for improvement is immediate. That said, I believe the mayor's budget does little to improve and or build upon our district's recent successes and only serves to stall and or blunt our district's progress. While the district's proposed budget seeks to build on our current momentum while meeting the expectations of the city's frankly archaic tax cap policy, all while working to build a highly trained and educated workforce prepared to thrive in the 21st century. I think that said, all of us know that there are 4 prerequisites for any community to not only grow but to thrive: perceptions of public safety, access to affordable housing opportunities, access to art, culture, and entertainment, and most importantly, the perception of our public schools. I believe this budget, as proposed, does nothing to add to the perception of our public schools and only serves to do it harm. Therefore, as a longtime ally, partner, and friend to the Manchester School District, and a person who calls the Queen City its home, I ask that we look towards our budget, not make the cuts as proposed, because I believe they will have a long-term, profound negative impact on not only the outcomes of our students, but ultimately the quality of our workforce as we look into the 21st century. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your leadership.
Mary Georges.
Good evening. My name is Mary Georges. I live in 18 Blodgett Street. I'm also House representative. if I'm here, I came here for Angela because I know really she's a good example for the people who they hire inside the school to support the kids who are suffering. Since 2019, when I get a grant for GHS for the mentoring and cross-cultural leadership for the kids at Central High School. Angela, Rary, and Jeff, and they always support that program to be successful. And we are doing very hard working with the kids to support the student, but I feel really bad even for the middle school with the budget that going today. And I don't know what's going to be with those minority kids, with those kids are struggling, the vulnerable students. We have a good support, helping even the teachers at the middle school. Since September 2023, I tried begging the school district just to help that program. They didn't want to help. Even last year, the same thing. Today, even we continue with the Central High School because my own board, they put their own money just to support that program. And the program that make kids today, then in college, kids are changing. And I feel really bad because with the time we are going and the target is most, I'm over there in the State House. I know what's going on. And I know those kids, the vulnerable kids, the middle school, the minority kids, if you guys doesn't take care of them, it's going to be very bad for them because nobody care about them. And I care. Even I go I work very hard, it's not because for me. I know what was going on with my kids. That's the reason I stand to help other kids because I didn't want to know what my kids went through. I don't want other kids go through again. But I feel bad because you guys are there,
30
but you don't
seconds.
care for the kids and you look like you support the kids. Thank you.
There's no one else signed up, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there anybody else here that did not sign up that wishes to speak? Please.
Good evening. My name is Mackenzie Verdenier. I live at 539 Silver Street in Ward 7, and I am the youth organizer for the Granite State Organizing Project. I also graduated from high school last year in 2024, so I have a very good relationship with many of the students, and I just want to bring to the board, bring attention to the board of some of the issues that our students have been facing. The number one issue that I keep on hearing from my friends and my students is engagement in the classrooms. There is low engagement. They feel like their teachers have given up on them. They feel like their teachers just teach from YouTube, and then they have to do a packet, and nowhere in there have their teachers actually taught them anything. And so instead of being in their classrooms, they go and they do other stuff that they're not supposed to be doing, which I know from an administrative standpoint has been an issue that you guys have been struggling for a very long time. And I know when I was in high school, what you guys did to combat that was different hall pass options as a means to try and control the students, but I believe that is not the solution. I think the solution that we need to find is some type of professional development for teachers that allows teachers to become mentors towards students. What I hear from most of my kids is that the teachers that take time to know their students on a one-to-one individual level, those are the classes that they tend to go to. In fact, they'll go to those teachers' classes instead of going to the class that they're supposed to be in. And of course, obviously, this is a challenge. This is a broad issue that we're going to have to come up with a solution together. But I want to bring it to your attention so we can open that conversation. Thank you.
Additional individuals that wish to speak? Okay, seeing none.